Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, a big day for the FNM as they unveil their candidates for Grand Bahama. The Progressive Liberal Party is starting the morning off in church with their new candidates. And here what one independent candidate is saying about the Awak Port Development Share Advance Purchase Program for Bahamians. Hear why he thinks it's illegal. Details straight ahead. The Bahamas Tonight Sunday edition starts right now.
Covering the islands of the Bahamas, ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight.
Ready for battle and declaring that the color red is coming. Good evening. It's great to have you with us for the Sunday edition. I'm Clint Watson reporting tonight. Prime Minister the Right Honorable Hubert Ingraham this afternoon cracked the FNM election machinery into high gear as he presented the party's candidates for the island. Scores packed the Alukaya Resort on Grand Bahama for the event. While addressing the group, the Prime Minister declared that the FNM will win all seats on the island.
You've already struggling. You have already been struggling with long-term problems, the after effects of several hurricanes and neglect by the PLP. Clearly the pace of economic recovery here in Grand Bahama needs to quicken and gather steam. The issue is, which leader and which party can be trusted to get the job done and deliver no matter how hard the task is? You have to make a choice. It's either Hubert or Perry. Very clear. In the weeks ahead, I'll speak more of the many national and local issues of importance to Grand Bahama. But let me say this for now. There's an old song that says, for good times and bad times, I'll be on your side forevermore. That's what friends are for.
The Prime Minister also used this opportunity to say this about the opposition.
PLBs never tire of distorting the truth, twisting stories, and telling untruths, clearly telling lies. During a period of time when they describe as excellent economically, even booming, they let Grand Bahama's economy stumble and then collapse. A hurricane hit this island, caused terrible damage, caused an historic hotel to close. Did they come out with guns blazing to your rescue? No, they ran for cover. Closed their eyes and hoped that you would go away, problems and all. They pretend that they care about you. They don't care about you. They only care about themselves.
Well, they've deemed it FNM country, and perhaps that's why they opted to begin the fanfare for the campaign on the islands in Grand Bahama. And delegates arrived by motorcades from their constituencies to the Alukaya Resort in Grand Bahama for the official launch of the 2012 Grand Bahama campaign. It was at this forum delegates heard from newcomers for the first time.
Prime Minister, I assure you that East Grand Bahama will do its part to return to FNM as the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Now it is my turn to give back, and I am happy to do so.
Morris Bean, Mr. Prime Minister, is ready for orders.
They represent the new faces on the Free National Movement's ticket for Grand Bahama in the 2012 general elections. Former Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce President and businessman Peter Turnquest in East Grand Bahama, journalist and news anchor Pakeisha Edgecombe for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, and educator and former principal Norris Bain for Marco City. Received with a fanfare and showered by FNM supporters, the three for the first time as politicians declared to a national televised and radio audience why they are no pushovers and ready to lift Grand Bahama to new heights.
Our party is all about you, about the people of the Bahamas. West Grand Bahama and Bimini, I am not here to give you false hope. I am here to say that if you send me to Parliament, I will work for your benefit. Until little by little much is achieved, and then I will work some more.
This is my passion. to ensure the development of Grand Bahama, to inspire and empower our people to take ownership of our growth. My experience in business, domestic and international, my work at the Chamber, the aviation and construction industries, as well as providing financial and business advice to many small and medium-sized enterprises, I believe makes me qualified to take on this new role and sensitive to the concerns of both the small and large business sectors.
Marco City's Norris Bain said he is old enough to remember when Freeport was known as the Magic City and not the Second City.
Be assured, the magic will return to Freeport. You say why? Because our leader has the wisdom and fortitude to arrange and rearrange this group of individual candidates that I really believe will assist in catapulting Grand Bahama specifically, and indeed the Bahamas, to the next level.
But nothing could replace experienced members of the team, MP for Pine Ridge Kwesi Thompson and the veteran of the group, Lokayan MP Nico Grant.
The battle is not over. Our march is not finished. But I don't know about you, but in the words of this hymn, I don't feel no way tired. I said I don't feel no way tired.
When the bell rings on that fateful day, after the dust is settled, the votes are counted, Central Grand Bahama will be in the win column for the FNM, and Regis Boy Nick will be the first member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama. I am honored to anchor this winning team. Marco City will send Norris Bain. Pine Ridge will send Kwesi Thompson. East Grand Bahama will send Peter Turnquest. And Western and Bimini will send Pakeisha Parker.
Well, as the election campaign shifts into high gear, members of the Progressive Liberal Party gathered in prayer today at Bethel Baptist Church. It was a part of their observance of majority rule, and they paused to thank God for the country's forefathers who made it possible for us to enjoy the freedoms that we do enjoy. Among those attending the church service were a number of PLP's standard bearers hoping to win seats in the upcoming elections. The slate of 38 has been called extraordinary, and party leader Perry Christie says they stand ready to implement the PLP's serious and innovative plans to reduce violence and create jobs. Well, government workers are taking advantage of the opportunity to become owners in the Arawak Port Development Company, but not everyone is singing the praises of this historic move. Independent candidate for Garden Hills and attorney Paul Moss told reporters that he has a number of concerns with government advancing salaries to make it all possible. Topping his list is the legality of it all. Moss questions whether Parliament granted permission to offer such a loan.
The Financial Administration and Audit Act 1973 governs the manner in which a loan ought to be advanced by the government with respect to the Consolidated Fund. It states specifically at Section 17, and I quote, subject to the provisions of the Public Treasury Bills Act, and to Section 16, no loan shall be raised by the government and no guarantees involving a financial liability shall be binding upon the government unless entered into with the prior approval of the House of Assembly, signified by resolution thereof.
State Minister for Finance Shavarga Lang responding to these claims. Lang telling ZNS News that Moss has contradicted himself. He says the act does require the government to get approval for borrowing. However, in this case, they are not borrowing but advancing salary. He says the government already has a commitment to pay salaries. This is a practice that has been taking place in the Bahamas for decades under proper rules and regulations. Lang says any civil servant would find his claim laughable because they've gotten advances for emergencies and other reasons before. Therefore, this claim, he says, is absolutely untrue.